Shalom, Israel. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahawah, BASHAM, YAHAWAHSHI, BASHAM, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders who teach and rule well at Great Millstone, and peace and salutations and peace and mercy to the prophets, the hopeful elect, the 144,000, and to the men and women of the 12 lost tribes of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Shalom. Back with another lesson. I'll title this one, The Former Shall Not Be Remembered. The former shall not be in remembrance. You see, the Lord, Yahawah BASHAM, YAHAWAHSHI, the God of Israel, the power of the Hebrew Israelites, the God of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and to the Israelites that's scattered into the other nations that look like the other nations. You see, we're headed for war. It's a physical war and a spiritual war. All around, on all sides, it's war. And the apostles and the elders and the bishops and the prophets on down at Great Millstone, we've been warning you and telling you that this is going to come, and you have ultimately Jake. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, 2/3 of you mock at this. You laugh and think it's a joke with this war. The Lord told you that this is coming. This is coming, and it's going to happen too. There's missiles that are going to be shot off all over this world. But you have Esau, Edom, which is the so-called white folks, and what you looking at right here, the Russian president, Vladimir Putin. He ain't no different from Joe Biden or Donald Trump. He's an Edomite. Vladimir Putin, he's an Edomite. He's part of that Medes. He's part of that Esau, Edom. He's of that line. Hitler, all of them. Edomites. But I want to get a quick scripture. Let me go to Deuteronomy 30:7, and it reads, "And Yahawah BASHAM YAHAWAHSHI, thy God, will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." And see, all these nations, the Elamites, the Edomites, the Anamites, the Moabites, Japhites, the Polynesians, the Arabics, if we're going today, modern terms, the so-called white folks, the so-called East Indians, the Pakistan and Afghanistan and Iran, China and Japan and Korea, all these, the so-called Africans, the Hamites, they've all had their hand in enslaving the Lord's people, the 12 lost tribes of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. All these nations have had a hand in enslaving the Lord's people. The Lord said, will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. You see? And Jake has had all these curses. The first to get fired, the last to get hired. You know, living in the worst conditions, getting beat, getting burned alive. You know, I mean, the list goes on. Getting imprisoned. Jake is imprisoned, falsely accused, tortured, brought on slave ships. These curses are going on the enemy. I'll read it one more time. The Lord said, and YAHAWAHSHI, thy God, will put all these curses on thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So that means all these people that dislike and look down upon the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the Lord said he's going to put the curses that were on his people, he's going to take them off, and he's going to put them on their enemies. And this is what we're witnessing right now. This is why it's no peace in the earth. This is why it's pure chaos. We're headed for war. There's a revolution for government. The people are in anguish and depressed. You know, there's no these so-called nations, the Edomite nation, these so-called white folks, they're divided. You go with the Iranians and the Arabics, they're divided. The Chinese, the Polynesians, they're divided. It's nothing but division. These are these curses that's coming upon these other nations. And if you go to Psalm 83, it'll tell you about the enemies of the Lord, these other nations. You see? Let me go to Isaiah. And this is part of the curse right here, Isaiah. Because one of the curses on you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians was that you should have an evil eye towards your brother. You see, and the so-called Negroes, you know, the Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, you know, the Negro tribe, the Southern tribe, they don't get along. You see Jake walking down the street. You'll see one Negro walking down the street and the other Negro coming towards each other. And one Negro might speak at it, you know, say, hello, how you doing, man? And then the other Negro mean mug him or might try to rob him or don't even look at him. But we'll say, you know, hello to Esau to these white folks or be friends with the other nation. That's an evil eye. You see? But now it's coming on the other nations, ultimately on Esau, Edom. You see, and this is what we're witnessing right now with Russia and NATO, America, United States, because America is NATO. You see, it's the whore that sits on the beast. Salakia.
But the Anglo-Saxon.
You see. Salakia. And it reads, I'll go to Isaiah 19:2, and it reads, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother. And this is part of the curses. The Lord told you he was going to do this. There's the World War III is coming without a question. This place, America, is going to be blown off the face of the earth. All you proud American Edomites, you white folks, and to you two-thirds Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians that love this place, America, you're looking at the Russia, that Vladimir Putin, Lord willing, if it's him or whoever comes in next, the Lord's going to use them or him to press that button to shoot those missiles, and they coming right along with everybody that's an ally with Russia. You see, the Lord just told you, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight. Everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. I'm going to let this play, and then we'll get to the scriptures. Call YAHAWAHSHI.
Saxons believe sanctions are no longer enough, and now they have turned to subversion. It seems incredible, but it is a fact. By causing explosions on Nord Stream's international gas pipelines passing along the bottom of the Baltic Sea, they have actually embarked on the destruction of Europe's entire energy infrastructure. It is clear to everyone who stands to gain. Those who benefit are responsible, of course. At the same time, the West has clearly been engaged in wishful thinking for a long time. In launching the sanctions blitzkrieg against Russia, for example, they thought that they could once again line up the whole world at their command. As it turns out, however, such a bright prospect does not excite anyone, other than complete political masochists and admirers of other unconventional forms of international relations. Most states refuse to snap a salute and instead choose the sensible path of cooperation with Russia. The West clearly did not expect such insubordination. They simply got used to acting according to a template, to grab whatever they please by blackmail, bribery, intimidation, and convince themselves that these methods would work forever, as if they had fossilized in the past. Such self-confidence is a direct product not only of the notorious concept of exceptionalism, although it never ceases to amaze, but also the real information hunger in the West. The truth has been drowned in an ocean of myths, illusions, and fakes, using extremely aggressive propaganda.
See?
Lying like gobbles.
See? Let's go to Nahum. Let's go to Nahum. Nahum 3:4, and it reads, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. And one of the witchcrafts they use is that propaganda, your television. You know, they sitting there using all the propaganda and turning and making it, you know, whoever they want to be, you know, they put it on television and use their news outlets and different media outlets and turn it out to make them to whoever their supposedly enemy be to be the enemy and make them look bad. You see? That's part of America's witchcraft, is this television. You see? And you can find all demonic witchcraft on this television. Everything. The little girls on little girls, the little boys on little boys, the boys dressing up to be drag queens, all that propaganda, all that witchcraft that they're using is this television. You see? It says, 5, behold, I am against thee, saith Yahweh BASHAM, Lord of hosts. I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. See? And that's what the Lord is doing. He's uncovering America's hidden, secret, dark schemes and lies. You know, 6, And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. 7. And it shall come to pass that all they that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. And Nineveh is that ancient city that was in Babylon. You know, it was a popular city, and they were enemy unto Israel. You see, and just like the Lord said, you know, roughly paraphrasing it, things written for before time is for our learning. You know, all these different, and that's what the Lord does through the book, man. He uses all these different ancient cities that were popular, and it ain't nothing new up under the sun. You know, all the corrupt government, you know, the corruption in the governments, and these sex scandals, and these murders, and, you know, stealing money and tax fraud, all that is went on in all these kingdoms, you see, and the Lord he's exposing this last kingdom that we're on. But Nineveh was which is the modern day. Right now they switched the name from Babylon to Iraq, but Nineveh was in Babylon in Iraq, you see. So but just like Nineveh was a major city, he you know, he tore that down, and he's going to do the same thing to this place. You see, he's going to do the same thing to America. I'll let this play. Ursulaki, it says, who will bemoan her? Whence shall I seek comforters for thee? You see, who's going to bemoan this place, man? Ain't nobody going to save this place. Everybody's going to turn on this place, America. And then, like it says in Revelations, the beast shall hate the whore. Everybody's going to turn against this place, even NATO. See, this is all through the power and the spirit of the Lord for what Esau has done to the Lord's children, man. You know, you so-called white folks, your forefathers, you know, you Edomites, what happened in the past and even what you're doing now. You see, you didn't enslave Jake. You done brought Jake over here on slave ships. You didn't whip the shit out of them. You didn't burn them alive. You didn't torture their little 2-3-month-old babies. You know, you just castrated us, man. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You have spilled blood. I mean, you went way past you know what you've done. You so-called white folks, you Edomites. You know, you're hanging Jake, hanging these Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You're hanging them on trees, and then you're burning them alive. And then you got postcards and pictures of these white people standing over a hanged or a hung Jake that's been burned alive, and you got them clapping and praising and dancing. You know, this is the torture and the shame that you've done to Jake, to the Lord's people, to Israel. And this is why the Lord he's letting this happen. This is why this place, America, is going to be blown to smithereens. It's going to be wiped off the whole face of the earth. There will be nothing left here at all. All your hopes and dreams in this place, Esau, will be burned. These are the last days of America, because this man right here and whoever comes in behind him, Russia is going to spearhead this war, and they're going to let them missiles go. You see, that's why they got the Satan 1 and the Satan 2. The Lord said, I am against thee, Babylon. Call YAHAWAHSHI.
The more unbelievable the lie, the quicker people will believe it. That is how they operate, according to this principle. I want to make special note of the fact that there is every reason to believe that the Western elites are not going to look for constructive ways out of the global food and energy crisis that they and they alone are to blame for, as a result of their long-term policy dating back long before our special military operation in Ukraine, in Donbass. They have no intention of solving the problems of injustice and inequality.
See? Let's go to, he said they have no intentions in solving the problems. They have America ain't got no intentions in solving this problem. You gonna do what they say, or they gonna take you out. Let's go to Psalm 36:4, and it reads, He deviseth mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. You see, he abhorreth not evil. He don't see nothing wrong with his lying, his stealing, America has infiltrated over 20 countries. That means they went in there and forcibly took what they want. You see, this is what Esau has done. These so-called white folks, man. You see, this is what they've done. This is what they've done. Let's go to Micah. Let's go to we'll go to Micah. Or actually, I'll let this play and then we'll get some more going. Call Halayim La YAHAWAHSHI.
I am afraid they would rather use other formulas they are more comfortable with. And here it is important to recall that the West bailed itself out of its early 20th century challenges with World War I. Profits from World War II helped the United States finally overcome the Great Depression and become the largest economy in the world, and to impose on the planet the power of the dollar as a global reserve currency. In the 1980s crisis, things came to a head in the 1980s again. The West emerged from it largely unscathed by appropriating the inheritance and resources of the collapsed and defunct Soviet Union. That's a fact. Now, in order to free itself from the latest web of challenges, they need to dismantle Russia as well as other states that choose a sovereign path of development at all costs, to be able to further plunder other nations' wealth and use it to patch their own holes.
See? Let's go to Micah. Let's go to Micah. See? And they just go and just take what they want. That's what Esau and them do. America does. They go in there, they put a sanction on you, and they go in there and invade and take what they want. And this is what ultimately America is trying to do to that Russia, and trying to spill this Western lifestyle, this deep state lifestyle on Russia and colonize it, man. Just like the rest of these places. Micah 2:1, and it reads, Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it. They practice it. Because it is in the power of their hand. And Esau is in the rulership, man. They're in the rulership. They dictate policy. They have the strongest and most powerful military right now. One of them. And, they control this. They have the power to do this. You see? 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. You see? See, I'll read it again. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, and even a man and his heritage.
If this does not happen, I cannot rule out that they will try to trigger a collapse of the entire system and blame everything on that, or God forbid, decide to use the old formula of economic growth through war.
See, America is gonna just like with this Joe Biden and his son Hunter, you know, what is the FBI or the feds? They didn't dug some dirt up on him, and they you know, they got enough evidence to get him. But you got Joe Biden's son smoking crack on live camera after what he just said. If you get his father, just the president just said, if you a person gets caught with a quarter-sized thing of crack, you know, you need to be put away. And his son is on camera promoting crack, smoking crack. You see? But what's going to happen is, you know, the way this is playing out, you know, they're not going to, just like Putin said, they're going to do away with this whole system. That Democrat part, that deep state is so wicked right now. This is why chaos is right around the corner, man. This is why it's right around the corner. You know, they're not going to, it's just like in a movie where you see, you know, the bad guy, he didn't, you know, he didn't robbed, you know, he didn't robbed a store or some type of, you know, business, and he's not going to give it up. You're going to have to kill him. You know, this is where it is with that Democrat and that Joe Biden and them at this point. You know, it ain't going to be, we're looking at, ain't going to be no other elections. It's looking like, ain't going to be no another election here in America from what it's looking like. This is what Putin is telling you. They're looking to do away with this system. That means even if it's going to full-blown war, they're not going to leave out of that office. Before they leave out of that office, everybody got to go down. Everybody got to go down. You see? It's just like, what's his name in that New Jack City, that Wesley Snipes. He said, if I go down, they all got to go down. They all got to go down. And that's where it's at right now. See? See? But it's pretty much, you know, it's about to hit the fan, man. Let me go to Proverbs, Salakia. Proverbs 4. I got a couple more and I'll close out. Proverbs 4. Proverbs 4 and 17. And it reads, for they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. You see? For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Salakia, let me go back. Proverbs 4 and 16. It says, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. I'll come back to that and read that again. Salakia.
Russia is aware of its responsibility to the international community and will make every effort to ensure that cooler heads prevail. The current neo-colonial model is ultimately doomed. This much is obvious. But I repeat that its real masters will cling to it to the end. They simply have nothing to offer the world except to maintain the same system of plundering and racketeering. They do not give a damn about the natural right of billions of people, the majority of humanity, to freedom and justice, and the right to determine their own future. They have already moved on to the radical denial of moral, religious, and family values. Let's answer some very simple questions for ourselves. Now I would like to return to what I said and want to address all citizens of the country. Not just the colleagues that are here in the hall, but all citizens of Russia. Do we want to have here in our country, in Russia, parent number 1, parent number 2, and parent number 3? They have completely lost it. Instead of mother and father, do we want our schools to impose on our children, from their earliest days in school, perversions that lead to degradation and extinction? Do we want to drum in their heads that certain other genders exist along with women and men, and to offer them gender reassignment surgery? Is that what we want for our country and our children? This is unacceptable to us. We have a different future of our own. The world has entered a period of fundamental revolutionary transformation.
See? He and Putin is laying it on the line right now. You know, do we want our kids to be, transgenders, or, the little girl, getting surgery to become a boy? Do we want our little boy to become a little girl? This is what Putin is talking about, man. And this is what America allows. And Putin don't want that. You see? And the truth is coming out, man. Even though they're the same people, they're all wicked, these Edomites, man. But Putin is standing on, basic, human rights at this point. Let the man be the man, and let the woman be the woman. Period. But over here in America, they're telling you through their witchcraft and propaganda, their media outlets, that it's okay to be if you're a girl, you can be a man. If you're a woman, you could be a man. If you're a man, you could become a woman. You could be a half man, half woman, a transsexual. You can, this is what's going on over here in America, man. And Putin's not trying to have that. You see? But let me go back. Let me go to Proverbs. And he's telling his people, is this what we want in our country? No, they're not trying to have that. And these Edomites over here and over there in Russia, they're way more militant than the Edomites over here in America. They're more militant. They don't fuck around, man. For real. You take the average 6-pack Joe Edomite, and then you take one of them average regular Russian citizens over there. They're more militant, man. They're more militant. The Edomite over here is more into, more westernized, and, let's go to Starbucks, go to work, smoke some cigarettes, and, go to lunch, and, let's get ready to go to gym. They're going to the bowling alley. That's the mindset over here with the regular 6-pack Joe Edomite over in America. But the regular working Edomite or Russian over there, it's a different lifestyle, man. They're training their kids to be militant. Even the women over there. Let me go to Proverbs 4 and 16, and it reads, this is why America has a problem right now with recruiting soldiers that come to their army here in America. This is a major problem. It shows you. It tells you, man. It's showing that America is struggling to recruit men into their military. And this is through the power and the Spirit of the Lord. Proverbs 4 and 16, and it reads, for they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. 17, for they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. You see? You see? And I'll close out with this. Because he said the earth is going into a you know, a new direction, man. Pretty much. Isaiah. But this is what's coming. This is what's coming. I'll close out with this. It says, Isaiah 60. Isaiah 65:17, and it reads, "For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind." This is what the Lord is setting up right now. For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. 18, but be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. This is what's coming to the elect of Israel. To the elect, there's rejoicing. Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, the elect is about to go into, is gonna be the first fruits in this kingdom, man. And you 2/3, you wicked 2/3 Jakes that don't believe and don't want to come back to this, you're gonna die on this side, and ultimately from the sword through this third World War nuclear warfare. You know, with these ICBM missiles that's coming, you're gonna be melted to dust, to ash. You know, because you didn't hearken, you didn't listen, you don't believe. So the elect is going to be brought, you know, be the first fruits into the kingdom, and they're going to be put on an extremely high level. That's going to be the government. The elect, the 144,000. It says, "And Jerusalem is a people before a place." It says, "And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying." And if we look over there in Jerusalem right now, in Israel right now, there's plenty of weeping and crying and crime and all type of violence and missiles flying around. There's no peace going over there right now. You know why? Because those are not the real people. That's not the people of the Lord. That's not Jerusalem. That's not the 12 lost tribes over there. That's why it's no peace over there. The Lord said, "And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall be no more." You see, those fake Jewish, those small hats, those 1948ers, they're not doing this right now. They're not. There's weeping. There's weeping and anguish over there right now, and fear. It says, "Be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying." 20, "There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that hath not filled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner being 100 years old shall be accursed." 21, "And they shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruits of them." Going into the kingdom, boy, you know, man, Israel, the elect is going to be, we got big fruit, big vineyards of wine, and you're talking about Yellowstone type. You know, we're talking about the size of America. You know, our backyards. Big fruits and vegetables and produce, giant peppers and giant watermelons. I'm talking about stuff that just beyond your comprehension. You know, this is the kingdom of Yahawah, BASHAM, YAHAWAHSHI. You see, he said, "And they shall build houses." Our mansions are going to be precious stones of different exotic colors that you've never seen before. You see, in the kingdom, and they shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. 22, and they shall not build and another inhabit it. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. 23. This is what this is about, the elect, man. 23. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble, for they are the seed of the blessed of YAHAWAHSHI, and their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass, 24, and it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer. It's the Lord said, and in the kingdom in this time coming, and it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer. So if we need something before we can even pray to the Lord or ask him, he said, I will answer. And while they are yet speaking, I will hear. I'll close out with this, 25. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together. Is that happening over there in Israel right now? Do you see the wolf and the lamb, or the tiger and the deer? Do you see them? The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw. Is the lion eating straw over there in Israel right now? Like the bullock, and dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in my holy mountain, saith YAHAWAHSHI. Shalom.